Hello and welcome to My Guy Reviews. I'm your host this week, My Guy Monkey, and I am joined by my special guest, My Guy Brig. Are you there?
Hello. Yes,
You
I
made
am.
it. Oh, well
I
done.
know. I know.
Just make it in time.
I know.
Just ran into the studio.
We did it. We're back. Yes.
As usual, we talk about films or other media, or really any topic, but mostly it's those things. And one of us comes in with a plan, and the other comes in blind. And this week you are blind.
Yes. Shall we talk weather again?
Weather? Did we talk about weather last time?
We did. Yeah. So
there we go.
I have a lot of chatter at work. Look, there's more spiders in the UK this year than there ever has been.
Okay.
Because it's warmer. Oh,
wow.
The summer's come back because it's nice and hot today. These are the things people talk about.
So you have your topic ready for next week. I look forward to that. Weather.
Spiders crawling out. That's my topic.
Okay, so my topic this week, you may have guessed it already, and the audience, the listeners, if they've listened to a few, may have guessed it already because I have talked about this before. But here are the clues. I want you to answer when you think you know what it is, but okay. I won't confirm until I've gone through all the clues.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Because otherwise I won't get to the end of the clues because you. So it's something that is in my interest.
Just yourself, no one else in the world.
No one else in the world. Well, maybe as well, but less so you. I'm not sure. We'll find out. It's a fantasy setting, including orcs, goblins, skeletons, ghouls.
Lord of the Rings.
Any idea? Good one. I can't say either way, can I? I forgot.
The Hobbit.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
It's an interactive media.
So it's a video game.
maybe. First in 1982, but still produced now.
Oh, so the first game came out in 1982, and now we're on a forever incarnation. Okay.
It has its roots in Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop games.
So like turn-based RPGs. Or...
it has its roots in there. It's the books were printed in 1982. First one. They were big in the 80s.
18.
Not the 80s. Where are the goblins and orcs in that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so we're getting a bit closer now. Any clues? Are there any other ideas?
So it's got goblins and orcs. You said no to Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Twilight. I mean, all of those guys look like goblins and stuff.
I did slip in that it's not a video game. It is actually a book, and a book series.
It's the Assassins.
You're getting there. That's it. So what's
Creed.
the series called? No. Creed. Use dice, and it is a book in which you are the hero.
Livingston wrote the book.
Yes, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston co-founded these books, and their names are on most of them.
Discworld.
Discworld. So this week we're talking about fighting fantasy game books.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, so do you know what these are, and what are they?
They are books that were written in a non-linear fashion. So if you literally read it from page to page, you get to a chapter or a certain area, get to the end, and then you'll get a number of choices. Mm-hmm. Some involve you rolling dice, some involve you picking 2 or 3 options, and then the book would branch out, and then you'd have a completely different adventure than if you went another way. And a lot of times it could finish in the middle because that's where you died.
Yeah,
and then you have to work your way back, or you can make it to the very end depending on how the adventure goes. And it's pick your own adventure, but in book format. Before video games really were what they are today.
Yes, very true. Yes, because before video games and before we had even handheld consoles, this was the thing you could carry around with you. You could carry it as a book It was actually a book. It's, you can read it and enjoy the atmosphere as any other book, but also there was a game in there because you could decide what your character would do, and it's also it has some dice rolling that you can do if you want to have some of that tabletop gaming Dungeons and Dragons sort of experience. So I want to talk.
Yeah, it was also good because if you were into something and you didn't know anyone else who was into this,
Yes.
you could actually read the story by yourself and still feel like you're part of that adventure. While with Dungeons and Dragons and kind of other board games, you needed to have other people who are interested in that to come around your house or you go to their house.
Yes.
So not everyone had access to people. And so this really kind of hit that mark where you have so many people who can read it at their own leisure. And if they have no access to other people who share the same interests, they don't need to worry about that.
I mean, I've heard stories of people finding out that, like, people they'd known for years, they never expected to be into the series, had actually read them. And I think that's the case because we read them on our own. We assume no one else reads them, and then we find out, actually 1 in 10 people maybe was reading them, but you didn't even know about it, which is incredible. But you're right, like the solo play, they're solo game books, so you read them and you can play them on your own. It's the tabletop experience boiled down to a book form that you can do on your own. The founders, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, they were also the co-founders of Games Workshop, which some people may have heard of.
Wow!
So they started that, which they actually started in order to bring. They actually got the contract to distribute Dungeons and Dragons in the UK. So they actually pioneered bringing those tabletop games to England because they were just fans of the things and they loved them. And they actually wrote these books originally to start. They started off commissioned to write a book to explain to people how Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop games were played, and ended up writing a book that was more of an example of one of those things. So, did you ever do any Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop gaming or even Hero Quest?
I've done some tabletop. I think I've played once.
Okay.
I played in Games Workshop. It just so happens to be.
Oh, okay.
Games Workshop
with the
also
figures,
with the little figures. Not normal traditional die. It was kind of the different dice we had. Also, Games Workshop last year had their biggest financial kind of year as well in the UK. It's random.
That's incredible.
Fact.
That's good to know. Now that Steve Jackson and Livingstone got rid of it, they sold it off years ago. But then again, they retired off it. So obviously, I want to talk about the people involved. I want to talk about those two briefly. I want to talk about the series. But I've also picked 2 books to go into as well.
Oh, brilliant.
And I'll rattle off something about the illustrators as well. One of the things, I mean, I played a bit of tabletop when I was younger as well, but that was after I read the book, so I was very much a solo player. You sit around in the tabletop tradition. It's like, it's not a traditional board game, but it is a board game in the sense that you're playing a game, but rather than having a board and all the rules set out, you have what's called a dungeon master or games master who leads you through the adventure, and it makes it a bit more of a conversational gaming and something more for people that are a bit older.
It's a bit more interactive than your standard kind of Monopoly or any kind of any other kind of board game of that manner, because in those games you roll your dice, you move, and you pick up the thing, and it's just your interaction with nobody. In this, you're kind of given rules and you're kind of told things as you go along, and then you talk to other people and stuff, and you band together as well.
Yeah, it's a team play game, definitely. But as you say, a lot of weird dice in some of those might put some people off. 20-sided dice, 10-sided dice, 100-sided dice, or D100s, D20s. But these books were written for use with the D6, the 6-sided dice, the standard dice you would get in your Monopoly set. Really, and they took the system. They've included a fighting system and things, but they've really made it very simple so that that any child could pick it up and grab their dice out of Monopoly or whatever game they've got. We're not sponsored by Monopoly. And,
Snakes and ladders.
Snakes and ladders, exactly. So you had the dice to hand. The books wouldn't come with a die, but everyone had those dice to hand. So yeah, I mean the two books I want to talk about. Have you read these books a lot, or you just know of them, or how much experience do you have?
I read a fantasy role-playing book once years ago.
Okay.
And I remember having to retrace my steps a lot because I kept choosing the wrong kind of, or just kept choosing the wrong options. And I think once or twice you had to roll a dice, and if you hit a certain number, you would either, based on kind of stats and stuff, you would either kind of defeat. So you roll it and you're like, so you roll it again because no one's really checking. So I've only ever read one, and I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, that's
so long ago.
You don't have to use the rules. You can. As a kid, I just read through the book without any dice myself, and I would when I would get to, or in these books there was a test your luck, and if there was that, I would go and see what would happen if I was unlucky, just to see, because sometimes you get some nice gruesome deaths, especially for children's books, and then I would go back and then play. I wanted to get to the end, so I didn't bother rolling dice myself. But yeah, you can backtrack and all that stuff. But you can't remember what book you read.
No.
Do you think it was a fighting fantasy?
It was a RPG kind of role-playing book.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I have no idea which series it would have sat with.
Okay.
Because I would have been super young when that came out.
That's
when
okay.
I read it.
Well, I've got a route A and route B for this video, so that or this talk. So if you don't know anything about the books, we'll find out a bit more about them later. So at the moment they're being produced by Scholastic. There's 15 of them at the moment. Some of them are reproduced. Well, most of them are reprints of the ones right from back from the 80s, but they're still being produced today. So you can still pick them up and share them with younger people that you know, or enjoy them yourself. And the two books I wanted to go through to talk about are The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which anyone that remembers the series might know as the first book, and it's the first in every time they've reprinted these books. They've started with The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and that was actually co-wrote by Steve and Ian. It's the only one that's co-written. It's got the cover is by Peter Andrew Jones, and the internal illustrations, which add a lot to the book, are by Ross Nicholson. And the other book I want to talk about is The Forest of Doom. Now, these two books are both, I think, the most common that people would have picked up. So I think they're the good ones to start with, and maybe in the future we might talk about other ones. The Forest of Doom is just by Ian Livingstone. Cover by Ian McCaig, who's quite famous. You might have heard of him. We'll talk about him as well. And the internals are by Malcolm Barter, who I think is just a great guy. I've met him a few times. I think I've met all of those people I just mentioned through going to the festival things. The modern ones are illustrated. The front covers by Robert Ball, who I think does a great job, but he's got more of a pop art style now, whereas we used to have more fantasy style. Yeah. And the internal artist has been Vlado Krizan, who does some great sci-fi art and stuff, but it looks like he wasn't given as much time for these ones. So the older ones are probably the better art mostly. Although Robert Ball is now taking over the illustrations for the series, and he's been given the time to do them properly as well. So the illustrations are getting better again. Steve Jackson and Livingstone. As I say, they co-founded Games Workshop. Steve, he's been involved in board games and stuff like that ever since. But even more, Ian Livingstone. He's Do you know anything about Ian Livingstone's video game history and his fame? I think I might have mentioned it before.
Well, he's a developer?
Well, he's I'm not sure what you call it. He's a bit of an executive, and he's famous for securing Tomb Raider and Hitman, basically.
So securing,
securing as in, I'm not quite sure what it means, but it means he was involved in, well, basically he was managed to retire off of his game books because they were so successful.
Yeah.
And Wikipedia reckons that basically he got bored because he was able to retire, so he decided to go into more gaming stuff. He was always a big gaming advocate anyway, board games and gaming as learning tools and things like that. So he joined a company called Domark, which then was overtaken by Eidos, and Eidos produces Tomb Raider, Hitman.
So he may have bought the intellectual properties or the ideas that someone was coming up with.
Yeah,
for Tomb Raider.
He was definitely big in the creation side. Yeah, I mean he was probably the person that maybe saw the potential and saw the potential in advertising it, because I think Tomb Raider was one of the first video games that really got a big push advertising wise as well. So yeah, and then now that Eidos was taken over by SCI, and then later on Square Enix. And all the way along, he's the only person that actually survived through all of that stuff. So he's obviously got something going on for him that people want him around, and they think he's a valuable person to keep around. So that's pretty cool. So
maybe they think he'll be able to secure the next Tomb Raider or the next Hitman, because they need a big franchise, don't they? Because I think Mirror's Edge is theirs. And it's that game where you just run across the screen. Yeah,
I mean, he's finally left a few years ago. He finally retired from that side of things as well. So the gaming's going to go downhill now, clearly.
Yeah.
But okay. So other guys there are here. Peter Andrew Jones, sci-fi and fantasy artist. Also responsible for some of the stuff in Lone Wolf and Falcon, which are other gamebook series. So that this isn't the only one. There are lots of other gamebook series of these interactive fiction type things. And Russ Nicholson, the internal artist for Warlock of Firetop Mountain, is also a great penwork artist. And he worked through the whole series. Yeah. He's from some of the early books right up to Mage Hunter, which is one of the later books.
Wow.
But we're going on to Forest of Doom, though. Ian McCaig is someone that's notable for film as well. So Ian McCaig, he did the covers for 4 books in the series, and internals for 2 books as well. But he's the person that's most famous for designing Darth Maul and Padme. I think I mentioned this before.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and also he's got his list on the design for credits for loads of films. So this includes Terminator 2, Hook.
So what did he design in Terminator 2? Like
well,
T-1000?
I haven't got the details, but he is a graphics designer, so he could well have been involved in that stuff.
Wow.
Some pretty
Darth
big stuff.
Maul is a cool character as well. As much as people don't like the prequels, a lot of people talk about that character, his design, the 2 lightsaber stuff, all of that was great.
Yeah, and they people still get face painted up to this day. With
it's still cosplayed a lot. You're right. So it's, it stood the test of time. Even if the whole series is not liked, that whole trilogy, his designs are still around and people still like it.
Yeah, it started off well. I think he actually wrote a lot of backstory and stuff as well originally for the prequel, the first one.
Yeah.
That got thrown away. So it could have been a better prequel, but because he wrote a lot of backstory to go with his character designs and things like that, but they just chucked it out and used the rubbish that they used for episode 1.
I think he didn't have to do much design for Natalie Portman, did he? Because I mean, she's a good-looking girl. What does he have to do? She can wear anything. She pull it off.
That's true. But then you look at her design; it was very extravagant as well. You know, she had her face painted and
she has the red and white. Yeah, she does now.
The massive things. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, his name is on the Avengers and
Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know what he did in those again, but they're great movies. So
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the CGI and aspect of it, maybe
mhm,
he helped with like the Hulk or the Chitauri, and then
mhm,
in Guardians he could have helped with Rocket Raccoon
yeah,
or Groot,
who
because there's
knows?
so much. Yeah, wow, that's
I mean,
amazing.
it's a very stylish film, and yeah, obviously Ian he only ever designed stuff for Ian Livingstone's books. So
Yeah,
again, Ian is a good entrepreneur, and he knew Ian McCaig was going to be big and good at stuff. So he sort of persuaded him to do things with him, which is pretty cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, and the other one is Malcolm Barter, the internal artist. Apparently he wasn't. He always complains about, well, not complains, but he's never happy with his work in Forest of Doom because he apparently wasn't given much time, a very small time scale to draw the pieces in. But still,
yeah.
they're loved by the fans to this day. So I mean, he does very light pen work in here, but he does light pen work in other things. Sometimes he does very, very deep detail and dark, like tattoo almost like things. But he's also great at sort of crafting like he's crafting out of clay out of the page. Like he doesn't have to use a lot of pen work to actually just give you a really vivid idea or spark your imagination for things. So that's why Forest of Doom is probably one of my favorite books, because it takes place in a forest, and there's just the writing, Ian's writing, and the combination of the illustrations as well just make you feel like you're walking through the forest, which I love. So
Is that the first in the series? What's the first one?
okay, so the first one, okay, let's talk about these two books then. The first one is Warlock of Firetop Mountain.
Okay, so
Uh,
that's the first they did in the
this is
whole
the very
series.
first one, and this one is a traditional dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Uh, the way they did it is that Ian Livingstone wrote the first half of the book, and then there was a river you come up to during the book,
Yeah.
and then Steve wrote the second half, and then they put them together and sort of.
Clever. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is, and they used
So
slightly
they,
different systems, but they fixed it to match
yeah, I
up.
was going to say, how would they know what one person's already done or covered?
Yeah, I mean they must have done some work together afterwards, or they probably did some pre-planning and then some fixing as well.
Storyboarded. Yeah.
You do need to collect keys in this book to actually finish it, which means you have to have all those keys planted as well back in the right in places for people to find them and to actually finish the book successfully. Because if you get to the end of this book and you don't have the right keys, you can't actually get to the treasure and have the complete happy ending.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other one, Forest of Doom, is actually the third book in the original series. It's the fourth book in the current prints, and yep, and it's the eighth book in the Wizard series, which is about 20 odd years ago. So it comes to different places in the series. I mentioned what number because all the books are numbered in most of the series. So the fact that they keep changing number every time they change publisher can be a bit irritating.
Yeah.
So yeah, Forest of Doom was the third book, and this one is set in a forest, obviously, woodland, and
Yes.
this time you're searching for two parts of a missing hammer for
Oh.
the dwarves of Stonebridge who have lost their magical hammer. That I think it dictates. I think it's a token of power, ownership of the area or something like that. So it's quite important to them because there's some evil dwarfs that are trying to encroach on them. And without that hammer, their livelihoods and lives are under threat. So you're out to find the hammer and save them. In the first book, you're just out for glory and treasure. There might be some element of threat from the Warlock in the Firetop Mountain that you're saving the local town from, but I think it's mostly for glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly, how big are these books in terms of pages, you think? About
Yeah,
500, 300?
good question. I mean, all of these fighting fantasy books are 400 paragraphs long, and there's about maybe 5, 6 on each double-sided page. They spread out on
Yeah.
one page. The idea, as you say before, is that you get to the end of one paragraph, you start at the background and move on to paragraph 1, and then at the end of that paragraph, you might have a decision to make. You might just get moved to a next paragraph, but more often than not, you'll have a decision to make. Sometimes you'll have creatures to fight. You'll have to decide whether to search things and pick up certain items, record them, and to decide whether to use them later on, things like that. And that way you dart across the book. So one of the things I loved about these actually as a kid was the fact you could say, I've read a book, because I was not that keen reader. I was apparently quite a good reader in middle school, but I wasn't a keen reader. I wouldn't carry on to the end of many books. But this one, you could actually get to the end of the book, or even you could just die after reading 5 paragraphs. But like, you could read all the way to the end, and you've actually only read maybe a quarter of the book, because you will choose paths, and paths that you didn't choose you wouldn't read. So
yes, that's right.
That's the things that made the I think that's one of the things that made them appealing to children, as well as the fact that they're also a game for reading, which is why they're touted as encouraging readers, encouraging youngsters to read. So yeah, 400 paragraphs. What do you think of these two books so far then, having no idea other than what I've said, or shall I talk about them a bit more?
I really, from kind of your description of both, I'm really interested in the first one, because you've got a split between two writers. So it'd be interesting to read that and then kind of get to the river, and then you'd continue with someone else. So maybe, is it quite interesting to see how one person describes the whole area, the locations, the things you've got to collect, compared to another person who's now maybe, the adventure steps up, and maybe the pacing's changed as well. So it'd be quite interesting to read that one. And I like these kind of books, because if you tell a child you started on page 1, now skip to page 10, and now skip to page 20, they're like, oh, I've read 20 pages.
Yes.
It's a sense of achievement.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And also it's great for people that love numbers, or even kids that are sort of learning numbers as well, and sort of the order of things, like because you have to keep flicking backwards and forwards. You get a good idea for what number is bigger than another. So you've got to get to 312. You soon get the idea that, that's further later in the book, and I think it helps you with that as well. So you like the idea of the first book. Okay, so without going too much into it, let's move on to the second part of the review. I think this, well, at the moment I'm going to give these definitely read, a 4-star review. Both of these books are worth reading and worth starting the series on, I think, and worth giving a try. I prefer the older ones because of the better art. But the fact that you can pick them up still produced today off the internet as well, or even Scholastic is another children's author as well, so they go to all schools, the old book clubs. You used to remember those, so they do book clubs. That's what, so your child can order it off of their local school book club and get hold of the books as well. Okay, so part 2 of this, I'll still give you the choice. I was going to talk a bit more about the actual books, but let's move on to part 2, because you don't really have much of an idea. So yeah, let's go straight onto that. I thought we could actually have a play.
Oh, brilliant!
Now you don't have dice, I assume, because
I don't have dice.
You've come in blind, so I've got some dice here. I guess the first choice we can say is, do you want to use the dice, and should we go through properly?
Yes.
Speedily. Yes, excellent. Okay. And the second choice as well is, I think you've already made the decision, which is, which book would you like to read?
Book number 1.
Book number 1. Okay, so the fact that Forest of Doom sort of jumps around in the series, as they reproduce them, they got a different number, but they always produce for the Warlock of Firetop Mountain first, because for one thing, I think the fact that Steve and Ian did it together and they started it first means they're just old pals, and they founded it. They want to show off the one they did together first, and It shows their friendship, really, I think. Okay, so first of all, we need to talk about the system. Then I forgot about that.
Yes.
So the game system, there's a game system in this book. It's very simple. You won't remember because you only read one book. It might not have been the same thing. You have some player stats, which are skill, stamina, and luck.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Not ringing a bell yet.
That the luck definitely is. I can't remember the other. I don't know if the others do.
It could well be. Okay, so in these books, you start off with a bare minimum of equipment. It says, okay, a sword, a leather armor, a backpack that contains 10 provisions, which can restore your stamina by 4 points, and a potion of your choice at 3. And I'll give you the choice in a moment. And
Immortality, I'll take.
I guess that would be strength. They basically restore the 3 stats, one of the 3 stats. So
yeah.
Okay, so skill is a measure of your fighting skill mostly, and is used for combat. Stamina is basically your health bar, and luck is well, you heard the term your luck running out. Well, that's what luck is like, right? Because every time you use luck in the book, you have to reduce it by 1. So your luck goes down and down and down. So you want to use luck sparingly and get lucky. Okay, so first thing we'll have to do then is roll up our stats. So our skill we work out by rolling 1 dice and adding 6. So I guess I'll do that for you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I rolled a 6. And I had 6.
You know what? I'll give you that one.
Did you say 2 dice or just the 1 die?
Just the 1 die. So.
So close to getting 12. I got 11.
Okay, well we'll take the other dice, the 5 then. We'll call that your skill, so you're not cheating so much.
So I'm not cheating.
So you got skill 11.
That's a good roll.
And as a reader of the books, these stats would actually just give me an idea of how powerful I was, because I wouldn't roll the dice. Your stamina is 12 plus 2d6, so I'm going to roll for you this time.
Okay.
You wait there. Oh, another choice actually. What's better sounding on the audio? Is it this or this?
I think that both sound good.
Yeah, not going to be too disturbing to listeners.
I think that the latter one sounds better though.
The tinkle tinkle, yeah.
Tinkle tinkle, yeah, in there. That's quite a good one.
So these are my own little dice shakers I made myself. So this one's made out of a mini jam jar. Oh wow, you got double 6 on that one. Wow.
Oh, smashed it. I knew it. I could feel lucky.
You're always lucky.
So if I add all my luck together, I'll be on like 99 now, right?
Yes. Let's see what your luck is then.
I bet it's a 1.
We're calling it 4. 4 plus 6 is
10.
10. There we go.
It's still double digits.
Ready? Yes, it's a very good luck score. It's not the best.
All right. Kick me while I'm down. It's not the best.
So stamina, if your stamina is reduced to 0, you're dead. Luck, you have to roll equal or equal or below on 2 dice to be lucky. And skill, you have a combat system where your enemy will have skill as well, and you'll both roll 2 dice and add your skill, and whoever's is highest will win the round.
Okay, cool.
And then the loser of the round loses 2 stamina from being hit, and you can use your luck in the game as well. Okay, so which potion would you like? You have the potion of skill, which will put your skill back to initial when you drink it. There's only one use of it. Potion of strength, which puts your stamina to its initial score, or potion of fortune, which puts your luck to initial +1, so you get an increase in your initial score for the luck one, for the fortune.
Okay, so if my luck went down, I'd get the same number +1. Let's take that one then.
Yes, good choice. Very good choice.
But if I drink it now, do I now have double +1?
You can drink it straight away, but then your luck is going to continuously go down, and you won't be able to restore it. So you can have a provision or drink your potion anytime as long as you're not in battle.
I'll hold it for now, and then when we go to the shops, we'll pop into Tesco. I'll get another one.
Luck potion. Okay, so we're playing Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I'll just write that down, and
I brought my contactless card with me as well, so I can always top up.
Excellent. You've got all the gold already.
Yes, I did it.
Excellent. Okay, so let's read this. Right. Yeah, the background this time is actually called Rumours. So, rumours. Only a foolhardy adventurer would embark upon such a perilous quest without first finding out as much as possible about the mountain and its treasures. Before your arrival at the foot of Firetop Mountain, you spent several days with the townsfolk at a local village some 2 days' journey from the base. Being a
Smog. Is Smog in there?
Smog, he could be. That's a good point, because on the cover, actually, we didn't talk about the covers. On the cover is a wizard that looks like he's conjuring a dragon, so that's a bit of a clue what could be hidden in there. I'm just putting some reading glasses on so I can read a bit easier. Okay, so being a likable sort of person, yes you are, you found it easy to get on with the local peasants. You shouldn't call them peasants, though.
I know, that's a bit mean, right? They're helping me. They're housing me, are they? Looking after me and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've got nothing except a sword and armor, so I'm guessing they're feeding you.
Yeah.
Although they told many stories about the mysterious Warlock Sanctuary, you could not feel sure that all, or indeed any, of these were based in fact. The villagers had seen many adventurers pass through on their way to the mountain, but very few returned. The journey ahead was extremely dangerous, that you knew for certain. Of those who returned to the village, none contemplated going back to Firetop Mountain.
Oh, wow.
There seemed to be some truth in the rumour that the Warlock's treasure was stored in a magnificent chest with 2 locks, and the keys to these locks were guarded by various creatures within the dungeon. The Warlock himself was a sorcerer of great power. Some described him as old, others as young. Some said his powers came from an enchanted deck of cards, others from the silky black gloves that he wore.
Oh, Gambit.
Interesting. The entrance to the mountain was guarded by a pack of warty-faced goblins, stupid creatures, fond of their food and drink. Towards the inner chambers, the creatures became more fearsome. To reach the inner chambers, you would have to cross a river. The ferry service was regular, but the ferryman enjoyed a good barter, so you should save a gold piece for the trip. I don't remember it mentioning if we have gold pieces. I have to check on that. The locals also encourage you to keep a good map of your wanderings, for without a map, you would end up hopelessly lost within the mountain. And that's not really true, but if you're going to replay this game, then it really helps to have it mapped out what you've done before. Okay, so when it finally came to your day of leaving, the whole village turned out to wish you a safe journey. Wow. Tears came to the eyes of many of the women, young and old alike.
Oh, yeah?
Funny. You couldn't help wondering whether they were tears of sorrow shed by eyes which would never see you alive again.
Well,
now,
just happy to see me go.
Yeah, just happy to go.
He's finally gone, that freeloader. Yeah.
Stop feeding that jackass who thought he was likable, calling us peasants. Now turn over. So we turn over, and we are on paragraph 1. We get a nice picture of a cave entrance. Okay, so this one's quite a long one, but obviously the story's just getting started. So we will stop for a break in about 10 minutes and then carry on. So at last, your 2-day hike is over. You unsheathe your sword, lay it on the ground, and sigh with relief as you lower yourself down onto the mossy rocks to sit for a moment's rest. You stretch, rub your eyes, and finally look up at Firetop Mountain. The very mountain itself looks menacing. The steep face in front of you looks to have been savaged by the claws of some gargantuan beast. Sharp, rocky crags jut out at unnatural angles. At the top of the mountain, you can see the eerie red colouring, probably some strange vegetation, which has given the mountain its name. Perhaps no one will ever know exactly what grows up there, as climbing the peak must surely be impossible. Your quest lies ahead of you. Across the clearing is a dark cave entrance. You pick up your sword, get to your feet, and consider what dangers may lie ahead for you. But with determination, you thrust the sword home into its scabbard and approach the cave.
Yeah, I do.
You peer into the gloom to see dark, slimy walls with pools of water on the stone floor in front of you. The air is cold and dank. You light your lantern. Oh, we've got a lantern.
I know, where did that come from?
I don't know. I read the equipment out of Forest of Doom, so maybe we did have a lantern. But they're usually about the same. The air is cold and dank. You light your lantern and step warily into the blackness. Cobwebs brush your face and you hear the scurrying of tiny feet. Rats most likely.
Oh, that's all right. I can stand rats. Spiders, no.
Maybe heavy spiders, you can hear their feet, imagine.
Well, it could be Shelob. Right? She could be crawling behind me. It's so scary. Spider.
I've got a point of contention now. Shelob. Shelob. That's the American way of saying it. Just Shelob. Anyway, you set off into the cave. After a few yards, you arrive at a junction.
Yes.
Will you turn west, turn to 71, or turn east, turn to 278?
Oh, see, as a child, my inner instinct says the 200 pages, because that means look how far I've got into the book.
Oh, okay. So that's the decision.
So, let's go with the inner child. Yeah, that's what I would have said. Because then if I ever stopped the book, I'd be like, whoa, 200 pages in and resolved, right?
My theory with Ian Livingstone's books was that you should always go either left or east, which is always opposite ways depending on how it's worded. So I would have gone east as well. So we're going east on 278. 278. Of course, it takes time to get to the paragraph. The passageway soon comes to an end at a locked wooden door. You listen at the door but hear nothing. Will you try to charge the door down? If so, turn to 156. If you would rather turn around and go back to the junction, turn to 92.
Oh, let's take the door down. Let's smash it in. You're taking the door
down. Okay, 156.
You know, we've committed to this path now. There's no point going all the way back.
Yeah, but then again, there was also, a chance to go back. So maybe that was an opportunity we should take.
No,
it's too late now. Let's see.
We've made a choice. We have to. We're committed to this path.
You charge the door with your shoulder. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is less than or equal to your skill score, you succeed. If the number rolled is greater than your skill, you rub your bruised shoulder and decide against trying again.
Oh.
Okay, so Are you ready? We've got to roll below. We've got to roll basically as long as you don't roll double 6. You've got
we're
skill
on to the
11.
winner. That's right. We smashed it. Yeah, I'm going to smash this door open.
Should have made you roll that one properly. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, double 6. No, I'm joking. 5. Okay.
Yes, smash that door down. Let's go.
Smash those doors in. 3, 4, 3.
Near the end of the book already. 3, 4, 3.
Yeah. What's it? 4 8s all the way through? No, 7 8s. 3, 4, 3. Sorry to waste time to write that down, but okay. The door bursts open and you fall headlong into a room. But your heart jumps as you realise you are not landing on the floor, but plunging down a pit of some kind. Luckily, the pit is not particularly deep, and you land in a heap less than 2 meters down. Lose 1 stamina point.
That's all right. I got loads of them.
I know, right? Down to 23, you're still a beast, still a giant. lose 1 stamina point for your bruises, climb out of the pit into the room, and leave through the door heading westwards. There's nothing else in the room.
Well, all
So
of that for an empty room.
It's a trap. Oh no.
Livingston.
You just wouldn't get that these days. There's always a reward for every dead end you go down these days.
Exactly. So. There would never be a case to go down a route unless there was something there.
But this was before video games and all that game theory, where they pander to every need of the reader.
This is like playing Bloodborne again.
And I'll tell you another reason I chose these 2 books for you to choose between, because I know these 2 are completable and not too hard. So they are quite possible. They're not as Dark Soul-y as some of the later books, which I would love for you to play as well one day.
One day.
Okay, so you arrive back at the junction in the passageway. You look left to see the cave entrance in the dim distance, but walk straight on. So you're basically going the other way again now. So.
I know, so disappointing.
I knew you had to go left, but I've played this game, so I can't give that away. There is a right...
Livingston. Yes.
Damn you, Ian. At least I'm not the only one that's going to get in trouble for Ian. Damn you, Ian. Oh dear, I'm always dissing his stuff, even though I love his stuff. I love his writing. There is a right-hand turn to the north in the passage. Cautiously, you approach a sentry post on the corner, and as you look in, you can see a strange goblin-like creature in leather armor, asleep at his post.
Kill it.
You want to kill it? Unfortunately, now if I was running this as a game, I would definitely let you kill it. I'll give you the choice. Actually, it says here, you try to tiptoe past him, test your luck. Now, I'll give you a choice. If you want to call yourself unlucky, we can just go straight in for the fight. Do you want to try and kill him?
Let's kill him. Yeah, let's kill him.
Okay. So we'll call you unlucky.
Because I've lost one point just trying to open the door.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to let you keep your luck point as well, because you should really lose a luck point for even trying to luck. But I'm going to let you skip 2, 4, 8, and we're going to try and take on the...
It's only 1. We should be able to take it down.
Yeah, it's just a weak ass goblin, isn't it?
And he was asleep, so why can't we just kill it while he was sleeping?
Well, yeah, that's true. Actually, it says an orc. Okay, so I'll give you. I'll let you get 1 free hit in. Okay.
Oh,
I'll read it what it says. It says the creature has just awoken. The creature that's just awakened is an orc. He scrambles to his feet and turns to grasp at a rope, which is probably the bell. You must attack him quickly. So
yes,
basically, I'm changing it to you've just sliced a piece out of him. He's got skill 6,
okay,
which is pretty low, and stamina 5, but you just got a free hit on him, so he's got stamina 3.
Yes.
Okay. So
let's roll away.
He rolls first. Down. He rolls. Oh, he rolled 8 plus 6 is 14, and you've got skill 11. So
sounds like that's quite jammy. I just need a 3. 3 and a more.
No, more than 3 to hit him. So.
4.
Well, you got 6. You got a hit in.
Yes.
Nice. He's down to 1 stamina. So this will be
He only loses 1 stamina.
No, he lost 2. He was at 3. He lost 2 stamina.
Oh, he's down to 1 now. That's okay.
So let's see what he rolls. Come on, man. Come on. You can do better than that. Oh no, he rolls double 1.
Yes, this is it. We're in now. We don't even need to roll the die. I feel lucky.
You've killed him. Do you want to roll the dice? But he's dead.
Oh, he's dead anyway. Yeah, we don't have to roll the die.
You don't have to roll the die, you don't. He's dead. You killed him.
We killed him. Now, can I ring the doorbell?
Let's
take them all down.
I'd have to do a lot of rewriting for that. But
no, that's fine. We've killed him. Has he got anything on him? Can we steal anything?
Okay, let's have a look at that then. If you defeat him, you may continue up the passage. Well, let's see. I guess that means you haven't won anything off of him.
So he didn't have any kind of cool thing that could have taken off his pockets? Like
no, this one
driving license or something.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the things you do in these games. You slaughter everything you find, and then you rob them of everything they've got. But no,
exactly. That's the way I play all my games. You know.
Okay, so we are on 301 now. You've just killed the orc, and I think we're going to call it a break now. I will look into whether you can ring the doorbell and let the enemies come to you, and if you want to change it.
I mean, I mean, like if they all came to me, then the rest of the area will be empty, so I can walk around how I want, take my time, steal.
Yeah.
No one's. But yeah.
I know there are at least 2 enemies ahead that could come after you if you ring the bell. So, I mean that's the love of tabletop gaming, is that the person that runs the game can make up anything out of what you want to do. So I will try and do that for you, and we'll have a quick break.
Oh, brilliant!
Back in. Welcome back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, from our short break, I did just check in the book, and we do actually have a lantern in. You do have a lantern in Warlock and Firetop Mountain, but you don't have it in Forest of Doom. I think also I decided if you want to make choices that aren't in the book, that's fine. I'll try and minimise the effect on the book though, and I think I might say it in an overly epic voice just to make it very clear that it's completely not part of the book. Okay, so you've just killed an orc.
Yes, I did. I stole his money
before he could ring the bell. That he didn't have any money. You tried to rob him.
That's so close. Did I at least get his sword?
No, you have a sword of your own. It's better than his. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, leave his on the floor.
Yeah, rubbish. Okay. So do you still want to pull on the bell and try to alert, which isn't in the book?
No, let's continue in the book. Let's go normal route. We'll divert at some point, but not yet.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay. Because I might die.
Okay. So now you've continued up the passage north. Okay. So to your left, on the west face of the passage, there is a rough-cut wooden door. You listen at the door and can hear a rasping sound, which may be some sort of creature snoring. Do you want to open the door? If so, turn to 82. If you wish to press on northwards, turn to 208.
So the last time we opened the door, we got nothing. We got nothing out of it, but we lost some stamina.
This one doesn't say if it's locked yet.
I'm feeling lucky this time.
Okay.
I think there's a monster inside with lots of loot. Let's go. Let's knock the door down. No, do it slowly and quietly so we can kill this thing while it's sleeping.
Well, we'll see what the options give then. 82.
Okay. I don't want to bash the door down in case it's stronger than me.
Not the door. Yeah. The door opens to reveal a small, smelly room. In the centre of the room is a rickety wooden table on which stands a lit candle. Underneath the table is a small wooden box. Ooh. Asleep on a straw mattress in the far corner of the room is a short, stocky creature with an ugly, warty face. The same sort of creature that you found asleep at the sentry post. He must be the guard for the night watch. Oh, thank goodness you didn't ring that bell, huh?
Yeah.
You may either return to the corridor and press on northwards, or creep into the room and try to take the box without waking the creature.
Kill the creature. And then take the box. Kill him while he's sleeping.
Kill him while he's sleeping. That's what you want to do?
Yeah, we want this free stuff. I want the candle.
Okay.
The candle could prove really useful.
Okay, let's turn to unlucky straight away then. This isn't an option in the book. But the sleeping creature awakens startled, obviously.
Obviously. It's got a knife in its stomach.
He jumps up and rushes at you unarmed. With your sword, you should be able to defeat him.
Yes.
But his sharp teeth look rather vicious. You may escape through the door.
No, it's too late. We're committed to this.
Yes. You can probably do that any time in the battle as well, but you'd lose 2 stamina for trying to escape. Or stand and fight the orc who is attacking you.
Stand and fight.
Right, so he's got 6 skill, 4 stamina, and he's an orc. Okay, so I'll roll for him straight away. 6 plus 10, 16, and you've got 11, so
5.
You need over 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be tough.
6, you did it.
Yes! Yes.
He's down to 2
Done
stamina.
it.
He attacks again. Well, you attack
He's
at
got
the
a
same
second
time.
attack. I forget.
You can play it in a faster way. There are tricks to make it shorter, but this is the normal way. So he rolled a 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. You've killed him. He can't come back from that. You've got skill 11.
We've done
skill
it.
11 plus minimum of 2. You killed him.
Yes, because we've got the sword. He doesn't have a sword. Now let's ransack the place. Let's take that candle because I like the look of that. I might need that later.
Let's see if you can take the candle. If not, I'll give you the candle. That's fine.
Let's open that box as well, right? We can open the box.
First of all, you take the candle and stick it in your pocket.
That's right.
But it was a light still, so you've just burnt yourself.
Ah, you got me. I thought I'd get to blow it out first, but sure.
Yeah, you're a bit stupid on that, so you lose luck.
I didn't specify, did I? I just said grab the candle.
I'm letting you lose luck because you should have lost some earlier on, so that's why I'm balancing it out.
Let's take this box now. What's in the box?
Hold on, I didn't say what page to go to, did I?
No.
82, 33. This is what happens when you forget to keep track of where you were. 33, 147. Okay, get back to it. 147.
Yes.
Oh, you leave the room. And open the box in the passage. Phew.
Oh, not in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside you find a single piece of gold and a small mouse, which must have been the creature's pet. You keep the coin and release the mouse, which scurries off down the passageway. You've got 1 gold piece.
Ka-ching. Become a millionaire.
And you gain 2 luck points. Nice. So you're back up to full luck points again.
Yes, we did it. Plus we got the potion in the bag.
Still got your potion. You're on a roll. You've got no problems with this adventure. This one you can do with low stats, but you've got massive stats. So
now we go the other way, don't we? We go north.
Yep. Further up the passage along the west wall, you see another door. You listen at it but hear nothing. If you want to try and open the door, turn to 397.
Oh, if you want open the door.
Open the door.
Yes.
397.
I think this is a dead end, but.
Well, we haven't heard anything in there, so it could be anything in there, couldn't it? I wonder.
Can I just open it? Do I need to bash it down?
The door opens to reveal a small room with a stone floor and dirty walls. There is a stale smell in the air. In the centre of the room is a makeshift wooden table on which stands a lit candle. Oh, another candle.
Yes, I've got another one. Wait, let's not pick this one up yet.
Under the table is a small box. In the far corner of the room is a straw mattress. You may either open the box or leave the room.
Open the box. Let's see what's in Pandora's box.
Open the box, 240. Okay, let's have a look. 240.
Wait, how big was the box again? Like a little one. Was it the size of a werewolf?
Under the table is a small box.
Oh, that's all right then, yeah. At the most, what can jump out? A small animal, small creature.
Maybe there's a vicious rat in this one. A vicious mouse. Imagine.
Maybe it's wife.
Rabid
The other one was the husband.
Could be.
Or it could be the kid. Yeah.
Killer babies. Okay, well, you're not far wrong. The box is light, but something rattles within. You open the lid and a small snake darts out to bite at your wrist. You must fight the snake.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's kill it.
You were right. There was something dangerous in there. It's only got 2 stamina, so you only need to get 1 hit on it.
Brilliant.
And its skill is 5. So let's see if it gets any good. A roll. Come on, snake. Oh, yes, 10 plus 5. That's 15.
Whoa.
Means you need.
That sounds like
5?
a fix. I'm on 11, so yeah.
Let's see what you get. Oh, you get a massive 9. You killed it.
Yes, kill the snake. Now, can we see what else is in the box, or was it just the snake?
If you kill the snake, turn to 145. Let's have a look. 145. It'll probably say you leave the room every time. Ian. The box has fallen to the ground during your fight with the snake, and out of it has fallen a bronze-coloured key with the number 99 carved into it. Nice.
We've got a key. Nice.
You may take this key with you. Note it on your equipment list. So you've got key 99.
Is there an option to leave the key?
You can leave it if you want.
In this scenario, we will take the key because I'll never remember my way back.
Yes. It also says add 1 luck point for that. You're already at maximum. I didn't mention that you can't go over your maximums unless it's specifically said. So you're still at luck 10.
Okay, brilliant.
363. 363. Further up the passage on the west wall, you see another similar door. You listen at the door and grimace to hear the worst singing you have ever heard in your life. Man, that's bad.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Do you want to go into the room to investigate the hideous din, or walk on up the passageway?
I mean, so far it's been all good, right? We've got a gold coin and got a key. This time someone's singing, so maybe it's like it's a pantomime or something. Let's go for it.
Yeah, but maybe there's a show.
It's behind you. Yes.
The door opens to reveal a small room. You've got a picture on the left here as well for this one.
Oh, small.
2 groggy-looking orcs.
Oh, 2 of them. They got me.
The room is dirty and unkempt. A straw mattress lies in one corner. In the centre of the room is a wooden table upon which a candle burns. Yes.
Ah, nice.
You forgot to pick up the candle.
I know, we're 1 candle short now.
Lighting the room with its flickering flame. Okay, then maybe the others weren't alight. Okay. A small box rests under the table. Seated around the table are 2 small creatures with warty skin, dressed in leather armour. They are drinking some sort of grog, and by the way they stagger to their feet on your arrival, you assume they are very drunk.
Yes.
You may either draw your sword and leap forward at them, or slam the door quickly and run on up the passage.
No slamming doors. Let's get into this.
Of course.
I want that box.
And
this time I want a candle, but I want you to blow out the candle first. The last one caught a light.
Cool specifics. 116. The 2 drunken orcs you now face are obviously startled at your entrance, and as quickly as they are able, they fumble around for the weapons.
Yeah.
You must attack each one in turn. Their drunkenness allows you to add 1 point to your dice roll when rolling to work out your attack strength during each round. Okay, so they both got skill 5. One's got stamina 4 and one's got stamina 5. So 5. Again, these are pretty easy, especially for you with 11 skill. So it works. Okay, 5 plus 4 is 9. You've just sliced the first one open.
Brilliant. Want to roll? Take out the next one.
7 plus 5 is 12.
13.
Something like that.
12.
Is it? He's dead. You've killed the first one without even having to roll. You just sliced them apart. Come on, man. You can do better.
He's drunk anyway.
7 again. So this one takes a hit. He's gone from 5 to 3.
Ooh.
Again. Oh, double 6. Nice.
Oh, he rolled a double 6.
Yeah.
Sounds
12.
like a fix to me.
Well, that's never a fix with me. I never cheat. 17. You've got. What do you need to get there? You need
6.
Yeah.
So
you
6
get to
draw.
So
I need 5. So I need 6. Yeah, 6 or more.
You only need really 4. I think. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, you slaughtered him, man.
Yes.
You've got 1 more stamina to take off of him. Let's see his pathetic attack now. Yeah, he's dead.
Yes, we did it. So now that they're both dead, can I take their armor? Because I don't think I've got any armor, have I?
You could have escaped, but I forgot to read that bit. Okay. If you win the battle, 3, 7, 8. Let's have a look what they've got. 3, 7, 8. You're already wearing leather armor, so.
Oh, okay.
You're already doing okay.
Then I don't need their armor.
You wipe your bloodied sword on the mattress. Nice.
Yes.
The green blood leaves a slimy stain on the straw. Stepping over the bodies towards the table, you flinch at the foul stench of the creatures. You pick up the box from under the table and examine it. It is a small wooden box with crude hinges.
Okay.
The name Farigo de Maggio is inscribed on a brass plate on its lid. If you wish to open the box, turn to 296. If you decide to leave it behind and leave the room, turn to 42.
Nah, let's open the box. I don't understand why you'd leave it behind after all of this hard work.
296. We might need to note down that name that was on it. 296. Okay, this is quite a long one. Okay. The box contains a small leather-bound book entitled The Making and Casting of Dragonfire.
Oh, brilliant. Spell book.
Got a book. You've got a spell. Yeah, okay. 2. I'll just write down the numbers so we can get to it. Again, if we ever miss it. You open the pages and begin to read. Fortunately, it is written in your own language, and so was probably not understood by the orcs. Otherwise, this treasure would certainly not be as loosely guarded as it was. The book is written in tiny handwriting by Farigo de Maggio. In it, he tells the story of his life's work, the creation of the dragonfire spell with which to fight evil dragons. You read how, in his last years, Farigo finally perfected his spell, but by then was too old to make use of it. So he completed his book, locked it in a chest, and hid it in the depths of Firetop Mountain, afraid that it might fall into the wrong hands. The last page...
It's with me now.
Yeah, the last page reads... And there's a whole page here. And so you who hold this book, you have my life's work. Pretty much what you just said. Remember, only the dragon breathes its fire at you should you raise your arms and say. So if he brings his fire, then you should say this stuff. Kill Erif, Ekam Erif, Erif DiMaggio. So that's quite important stuff to note, I think. So
yes. Let's pop that down.
Yeah, I'll write that. I'll just write down the reference number so we can look it up, rather than write down the whole lot. Okay, you say these words slowly and softly. Suddenly the pages seem to glow, and as this glow disappears, so do the words on the pages of the book.
Ah, snap.
Oh, you repeat the spell to yourself to memorize it and leave the room. So you have got the spell, I think.
Cool. So let's grab that lamp again. The candle. This time blow it out and let's take it.
Okay, you got all them candles. Nice.
Because you might go into a dark room at some time. What if my lantern's broken?
That's true. Okay, just to note that, say it in the right tone. You pick up the candle. You now have 3 candles that can't be used in this book.
I only picked up 2 though.
Yeah, you can have the other one.
I forgot one.
You going back for it?
No.
Okay.
Never go back. Never go back.
Candles 2.
Never know. It might be useful.
It might be. You eventually arrive at the end of the passage at a 3-way junction.
Oh.
Your favourite kind of junction. You may turn either to the west or to the east.
Oh. Let's go left. So let's go east.
East.
No, wait. No, west is left. West.
That's right. So west then, yeah?
West, yes.
West, 257.
Never eat shredded wheat. Yes.
That's good. I know for sure that means see extra by going to the west.
Ooh.
Otherwise you would have missed an area. Not that it's necessary, I can't remember that much. But let's see what's in there. The passageway runs straight for several meters and then ends at a wooden door. You listen at the door and hear angry shouting coming from within. Will you investigate or turn back?
Yes. Sounds like a husband is being told off by a wife. This angry shouting behind the front door of a house. That's the only time. No, rarely would a husband shout at a wife. It's always the other way around.
Yes, the wife shouting at the husband.
Yeah.
Let's go and see who it is. I think there's a picture for this one. Yeah, there is.
Yes, let's go in.
Okay, so the wife, as you call her, is holding a whip.
Oh.
And the husband is carrying the corner. Right in this picture. Okay, you open the door to a large room. A large chair behind a solid-looking table suggests to you that someone or something of rank uses this room.
Oh.
A chest in the centre catches your eye. In a corner of the room stands a man-sized creature with a warty face, standing over a smaller creature of similar race. With the whip in his hand, the orc chieftain has been beating his servant, who is whimpering beneath him. Will you attack them both? Spring to the chieftain in the hope that his servant will aid you, or leave the room and head back to the junction?
Ooh, help the servant.
Yes, you're going to attack the chieftain. Of course you are.
Yeah.
65. So we'll turn to 65. As you spring at the chieftain, his servant raises to his feet, picks up a hefty wooden stick, and joins the melee. But to your disappointment, he attacks you.
Ah, damn it.
Wretch.
Oh, kill him
Seeing
all.
this, you may escape through the door down the corridor, or continue the fight.
Well, I've got to kill him now. I mean, he woke up and stabbed me when I was trying to help him.
Yeah.
So let's kill the chief first and then kill him.
Yeah, basket. Okay, so 3, 7, 2.
Can't believe he betrayed me like that.
No.
All I wanted to do is steal from him.
You brony.
Yeah, I'm the good guy. All I want is your gold.
The battle commences. That's what it is. Okay. Orc chieftain.
He's got a whip.
I guess you have to do it one at a time because it doesn't say any other way. So he has skill 7, a little bit higher.
Wow.
Not quite up to your standard, but
still getting there.
Yeah. Props to the guy. Okay, so 7 plus 7, 14.
Ooh, 14.
You've got skill 11 you need. What do you need?
3 to draw, 4 to win.
Draw to win. Let's see. You get 8.
Yes. Take a big hit.
He's down to 4 stamina.
Let's steal his whip.
7 plus 8 is 15.
Oh, 15. That's a big number.
But you got 10, so you've dealt him another
21.
Damage.
Big hit, yeah. So you got one more hit.
Yeah, this is too easy. I might have to reduce your skill at some point. Maybe that candle burnt you too much. Double 1. You've killed
Yes.
this.
Now let's steal the whip and whip the other guy with the whip for stabbing me.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Yep, you give him a massive whipping.
Good.
Down to 1 stamina.
Because I was trying to help
him with
him.
your whip.
Yeah, because I was trying to help you and then you came and attacked me.
Yeah, your basket.
Yeah.
And again, smack him with the whip. You just.
Well, that's it. Hit him with the whip.
Yeah, you just cane the guy to
Now that he's dead, I'm going to stand over him and say, I'm going to steal from you.
death. Like in a movie where you can't actually.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You just wait till they're dead and then you have that conversation to the camera.
Yeah,
so we know what's going on next.
Bad Boys were on yesterday. That's quite guilty of that sort of thing.
Yes.
The green blood of the dead orc smells foul as it seeps from their bodies. You step around the corpses and investigate the chest.
Yes, that's what
It is a sturdy affair made of strong oak and iron, and it is firmly locked. You may try to smash the lock with your sword, or leave it alone and go through the open door. You want to smash it or leave?
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to come back. Let's just smash it open. Let's see what's inside.
No, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, there might be another key.
If it was my book, I'd make it damage you. Instant death. We haven't had any instant kills.
Well, if it's Dark Souls, you have 2 choices. When you go to certain chests, when you go to open them, they can be a mimic, and then they just come and run at you and attack you. So when I played Bloodborne the first time, I would open a chest and I'd roll back always instinctively, thinking that's going to turn into a mimic and try and kill me.
get them in a few different games. Okay, so the lock was obviously inadequate. It flies off and lands on the floor several meters away.
Wow,
You lift
that far.
You lift up the heavy lid, and your eyes widen as you see the gold sheen coming from within.
Yes.
A fair number of gold pieces are inside. In one corner lies a small black bottle with a tight glass stopper containing a liquid of some kind. Also in the chest is a silky black glove. But as you are admiring this treasure, you hear a soft click and wince in pain as a small dart shoots forward into your stomach. Roll one die and subtract this number of points from your stamina to determine the effect of the poison. Nasty. Let's see what you get. 5. You just lost 5 stamina from that.
What? Where did that come from?
Down to 18 stamina. That's pretty average stamina now.
That's
That's a bit of a hit, isn't it?
That's huge. Who shot this?
Let's see if
Let's investigate. Let's kill this person. Get my whip out. Throw a candle at his face.
It was the chest.
Oh, it was the chest that did it.
Yeah, it was the chest.
I just said to you it could be a mimic. Be careful.
It's not a mimic. It's just a dart trap. That's more what you get.
But you open it and you roll back, obviously. Oh, it's too late now. Next one. We learned for next one. Okay, so we can still loot the stuff inside?
Yes, you sink to the floor. You pull the dart out and decide to bandage the wound. Yes. This gives some relief, but you still feel weak. You decide to take it easy and examine the contents of the chest. But if you wish, you may eat some provisions here. You can eat provisions anytime, but you do still have 10 provisions, so that will restore 4 stamina if you want to eat any now.
No, I'm still okay with stamina.
There are 25 gold pieces, and the label on the bottle shows it to be a potion of invisibility.
Oh,
good for 1 dose. The glove is a mystery. You may put any or all of these items into your haversack backpack and leave the room.
Everything. Take it all.
Yeah, so you got potion.
So can we try the Michael Jackson gloves?
Yeah, take the glove. Or is it a black silky glove, wasn't it? Black.
Yeah, so the Michael Jackson glove.
Yeah, you're wearing the glove now. Yeah, it doesn't say whether you can or not. So
I don't know if it has any detrimental effect on me though. So I don't know. Let's put it in the pocket for now. We'll come back to it.
It doesn't say.
Because if it's slowly poisoning me, I don't want to wear it.
It might do. 293. Oh, 293. You arrive back at the junction in the passage and walk straight on eastwards.
Yes.
113.
To the right we go.
To the right, to the east. What was it? 113. You arrive at another junction in the passage. You may either go northwards or continue eastwards.
Let's go north.
North, okay.
And then we'll circle back to east.
Yes. You know this isn't an open world book, so you don't get to do much circling back. But here we go, 285. The decision is made. You see a well-used door on the right-hand east side of the passage. With your ear to the keyhole, you listen and hear a man screaming for help from inside. Will you open the door or walk on?
Yes, open door and kill the man.
Kill the man.
Because after what happened last time, we cannot trust anyone. Yeah, you help a brother out and all he does is tries to stab you.
213, okay. The door is locked. You may try to charge it down by rolling 2 dice.
Okay.
If the number is rolled is equal to or less than your skill, if the number is greater than, the door remains locked and you lose 1 stamina point and you carry on. So you get 1 try, and you're very likely to do it.
Let's do it. Let's knock that door open. See what's behind the door.
Yep, you do. You got a 5, so it's way below 11. 3, 1, 4. Three, 1, 4. Further up the what? I think I went to the wrong one.
Oh, we're going through the door. We're not going up the
36.
path. Not
36.
yet.
I read the wrong number. 36.
Yes.
Okay. The locked door bursts open and a nauseating stench hits your nostrils.
Nice.
As usual. Inside the room, the floor is covered with bones, rotting vegetation, and slime. A wild-haired man, clothed in rags, rushes at you screaming. His beard is long and grey, and he is waving an old wooden chair leg. Is he simply insane as he appears, or has this been some kind of trap? There's a picture of him as well, and it's a wreck in that room. There's skulls and slime and grossness. And he looks like he's flying. He's coming so fast at you. You may either shout at him to try to calm him down, or draw your sword and attack.
Let's go with the diplomatic approach first.
Okay. Attack.
Let's shout at him. Attack him with my words.
Attack him with your words. You're a politician now. Okay. 263. Okay. You shout, "You are freed, old man," at the top of your voice. Instantly, his ramping cease.
Oh, brilliant.
He stops dead in his tracks and sinks to the floor, weeping loudly.
Wasn't expecting this.
He composes himself. He thanks you many times. You talk with him in the hope of discovering some of the secrets of the mountain, and he begins to tell his story. Many years ago, he was an adventurer like you, until he took an arrow to the knee. No, that's a joke. An adventurer like you. It's a Skyrim joke. In search of the Warlock's treasure. He was captured by the orcs and thrown into his solitary cell as a sort of pet for the creatures. Ask whether he would like to accompany you into the mountains, but he simply wants to leave and see the world again, obviously. You ask him for advice, but he says he knows little. He advises you to pay your respects to the boatman. He tells you that you must pull the right-hand lever on the wall ahead to open the iron gate at the end of the passage. It's quite useful to know, right? He has also learned that the keys to the boathouse are guarded by a man and his dog. Okay. You shake hands, leave the room, and go your separate ways. Add 1 luck. You're ready at 4.
So just while he's walking away, shall we just stab him in the back?
Do you want to stab him in the back?
No. Lisa cleared the way for him, so it should be a clear run home.
Yeah, otherwise I was worried about that sleeping orc you could have just left there.
Oh, yeah, he would have killed him, yeah.
Definitely. You did that man a favour. 3, 1, 4. Okay. So do you remember all that information?
Yes. Lever on the right, keys are with the old man and his dog.
And dog, that's right. Okay. So 3, 1, 4. Further up the passage, you see a door in the east wall. Again, you listen hard but can hear no sound. Do you want to open the door?
Yes, we do.
Yes, of course you do.
Every door.
Every door. 2, 2, 3. 2, 3. The door is firmly locked. You may try to force it open, or you may continue. Try to force it open. 53.
Let's smash it open.
53. 53. You charge the door, hitting it squarely with your shoulder. Roll 2 dice, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, we did it.
Let's hope you don't get a double 6. Let's see. Come on, double 6. No, 5.
Yes, we did it. Smashed it open.
1, 5, 5. 5, 5. Ooh. There's a picture, and it looks like an equipment room.
Oh, brilliant.
The door splits along its length, and you can wrench the timbers apart to let yourself in.
Yes.
A torch hangs from one wall, lighting up a small armory room stocked with swords, shields, helmets, daggers, breastplate, and the like. You examine the weaponry and find nothing appearing superior to your own sword. However, a circular iron shield with a golden crescent at its center catches your eye.
Oh, nice.
You pick it up and feel its weight in your arms. If you wish to take this shield, it will aid you in battle by helping to fend off wound damage inflicted by a creature on you. If in future, during a battle in which you are using this shield, a creature wounds you, you may throw 1 die. If you roll a 6, the creature inflicts only 1 point of damage instead of the normal 2. If for some reason the creature would normally only inflict 1 point of damage, then a successful roll of 6 would mean that no damage is done. However, the shield is heavy, and you will have to leave behind 1 item of equipment.
Wow.
So do you want to take it?
But what items do I have still?
Well, you have lots of candles.
Yes, let's drop a candle. Let's pick up the shield.
I think within the spirit of the game, you'd have to drop either the Black Glove, the Invisibility Potion, the Dragonfire spell, or the key.
Oh, is that all we can carry?
That's all you've got at the moment.
Can you take the place of some food? So if I eat a sandwich, is it part of the 10 provisions, or is that something separate?
Some people argue that could be possible. So, yeah, okay. Which item would you have left though, if you could, if you had to?
Oh, I guess because I don't know what the glove does just yet. Well, we've read the book, so we could put the book down because it disappeared. So the book has no information now left in it. It disappeared.
I don't think you have the glove the book anymore. I think it's
do you know? Okay.
Not really counted as equipment. So one of those 4 things.
I guess if we had to put one down, it'd have to be the glove because I don't know what it does yet.
Okay, I'm gonna.
But I would like to keep the glove.
You would like to keep
and leave the shield.
I'll let you leave behind the provision. Anyway, you can take the shield if you want the shield. Or do you think? Or would you rather drop the shield?
Leave the shield. I'll keep the gloves.
Leave the shield. Okay, so that was the crescent thing. You didn't pick that up.
Because the gloves seem quite stylish.
Exactly. You haven't put the glove on yet, so.
No.
Turn to 300. On the east wall of the passage, you see another door. This time made of solid metal.
Oh.
Listening at the door, you hear the sound of tortured screams coming from within. If you wish to open the door, turn to 1 or 2.
I mean, so far the door opening has proven fruitful.
Yes,
-1.
Apart from that one first time.
Yep.
102, okay. The door is not locked and opens.
Yes.
The room in front of you seems to be a small torture chamber with various torture devices around the walls. In the center of the room, 2 small hunchbacked creatures are having their fiendish way with a dwarf, who is tied to a hook in the ceiling by his wrist.
Like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, having their way with him. The 2 hunchbacks are poking and cutting him viciously with their swords.
Maybe he's Gimli, son of Groin.
Could be a tie.
They're playing with his groin.
Playing with the son of Groin. The dwarf lets out a final scream and falls silent.
They've killed him.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh,
His captors make disappointed noises and look around angrily at you, as if it were your fault that the dwarf has collapsed. You must act quickly.
Kill him.
You close the door, draw your sword and fight.
Yes,
or
we fight.
Strike with the dwarf, give him a jab with your sword, and put on an evil laugh for the torturers.
No, never. Kill the 2. Poor dwarf, man. He's a short little thing.
Kill the 2. Okay. I need to make sure I write down these numbers. 2, 19.
Oh wow, 19.
Paragraph 19. You've gone quite a far back now. You're going to need to read more. These 2 evil creatures are goblins. They attack you one at a time. They've both got skill 5, and they've got stamina 5, stamina 6. They're actually a bit more powerful than the orcs, which I'm surprised at. 5, 6. Goblins. Okay. Let's see what they get. Oh, the first one gets 10. Plus 5 is 15.
That's big. It's big.
So you need 5 to hit. And you get 12.
Yes.
Double
Smashed
stick.
him in his face. He falls down to the ground.
Yeah, we just call that a critical. There you go.
Yeah.
It's down to 1 point. He rolls 5, so he's got 10. You've killed him.
Yes. First one gone.
You're kind of too powerful in this one. Next one is rolls 4. Yeah, you've took him down to from 6 to 4 stamina. Next one, he rolls 10, so he's got 15.
Oh, that's a hard.
You need 5. See, there's a chance. There, you got 7.
Yes.
So lucky. So lucky. I think you've
It's
taken
that lucky potion.
Yeah, he's just carrying it. It's helping. Could be. 9 plus 5 is 14. So you need 4 or more to wound. And you get 7. He's dead.
Yes. They're all dead. We did it. Sorry. Sorry, dwarf.
Sorry about the dwarf. Too late for you. 7. I might have to start cheating, making you take more points, hit points. You cut down the dwarf. Oh. He is, as you guessed, dead. Oh. Going through the pockets of the 2 goblins, you find
About time we steal something.
Oh, this is an important item here. You ready? You find a large piece of sweet-smelling cheese.
Oh, for my mouse that I rescued.
Oh yeah. Except you let the mouse go, so maybe he'll come back to you to put the cheese on the floor.
Now that I've got cheese, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be your pet. If you wish to take this with you, put it in your backpack and leave the room northwards.
Let's take it.
Take the cheese.
Yummy.
You have some cheese. It's a shame, if you got that cheese earlier, you could have swapped it for a shield. There we go.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But then I won't be able to have the mouse as my pet later on. That might be useful. Especially if you come up against an elephant. Everyone knows elephants are scared of mice.
Yeah, true. You need the mouse. You arrive at the end of the passage where it meets another going east-west.
Oh.
But an iron portcullis blocks your way, and no amount of charging is going to budge it. On the wall to your right are 2 levers.
The right one.
It seems likely that these levers have something to do with raising the portcullis. The right one. Okay, 1 to 8. 1, 2, 8. Ding, ding, ding. You hear a deep rumbling noise, and the ground begins to shudder.
Oh, brilliant.
Slowly and noisily, the portcullis rises into the ceiling. You may now walk to the junction. Will you turn west or east?
Left, so west.
West to 10.
See, we drive on the left-hand side in this country, and when you go up and down the stairs, you go left.
Yeah, so turning left is always easier, safer.
So my strategy is left because they're British authors.
True. Always safer to take the left turn and not cross the traffic. Shortly along the passage, you arrive at another junction where you may go either straight ahead, westwards, or northwards.
Let's go west.
Go west. 225. 225. The passageway continues westwards and then turns due north. Some way up, you reach a junction where a narrow passage runs off to the west. Will you continue northwards or take the west way?
Take the small carriage, the small little room. Let's go for it.
Yeah, 63.
Going through the tunnel.
Going west.
Yes.
Taking the carriage.
Not committed now. We've already taken 2 lefts. Just going to make a big circle. Come back round.
As you walk along the corridor, you see ahead that it is getting narrower. At one point you stoop, and as you do so, a deep, resonating laugh starts up around you. Do you wish to continue or turn back?
continue. We're already in. I'm almost stuck. Let's just walk through. Let's get to the other end. Make it happen.
1. Yeah. The narrow passage eventually becomes too small for you to walk along. You get down on your hands and knees and crawl.
Yes.
Eventually, you will get no further, and there seems to be no way through, so you decide to return to the main passage.
Oh,
you head for the junction.
Yeah.
It's another dead end.
After all of that.
Nothing in it. Not even a candle.
Someone was laughing at us. Maybe you should have thrown the candle through the little hole.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's see if anyone picks it up.
Okay, you throw the candles out of your reach.
Just the one.
And they stuck the candle, one of your candles. So you still got a candle.
Anything happen? Is there any movement? Does anybody see it?
No.
Oh, it's a waste of a candle. Is it out of reach? Can I still reach it?
You try to reach, you just can't reach it.
Oh, so close. We've lost the candle. Okay, let's continue. You never know. Could have been something there.
True. As you walk back up, you hear the laugh again, and he says, "Thank you for the candle."
Oh, thieving jabroni. Stole my candle.
Thieving ghost or something. Several meters up the passageway, you arrive at the junction where you may turn either west or east. Set in the rock on the north wall is a small recess where you may rest and eat provisions without being seen. If you wish to eat provisions here, do so. You still don't want to do that, do you?
Nah, we'll carry on.
East or west?
Well, we've been west and we got stuck and we had to come back, so we have to go east now.
I think this is a new corridor. So we've gone up north and we've reached a T-junction.
Oh, then we go west again.
Go west. West. 18. You walk westward along the passageway. Yes. After 5 meters or so, the way turns northwards. 2 or 3 paces up the passage, you hear a crumbling beneath your feet, and you try to leap back as the ground gives way.
Oh, too late. We went backwards.
Yeah, it was jumping backwards. Test your luck. So what's your luck? 10. You need to roll 10 or less, and afterwards you lose a point each time. So see what you get. Oh no. Oh, that's good. You rolled 3, so you're lucky.
Yes.
But you're down to 9 luck because you lose it every time you test it. Let's see. If you're unlucky, blah blah blah, you would have lost a stamina point. If you're lucky, you better head back to the junction. So you were lucky, so you get to head back to the junction and go east, I guess.
Let's go east now.
2, 6,
After all of that, there's nothing there.
Nothing there.
Send us down a dead end.
Continue east 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. You follow the passage eastward for several meters, then it turns to the north. Shortly you reach another junction where you may either go straight on or you may turn right into an eastward passage that soon turns north. So you can
take the eastward passage that turns north.
Okay, 311. There's a lot of turnings around here, and a lot of passages. What was it? 311. Yeah. 311. Ooh. Is that picture? There's a picture of a room with, it looks like stars and stuff on the floor.
Oh.
Stars and hands and hexagons and stuff. Okay. The passageway ends in a door at which you listen but hear nothing. Trying the handle, you find that the door opens to reveal a large square room. The room is completely bare, but the floor is covered in a mosaic of tiles.
Oh, nice.
2 shapes stand out on the floor, star-shaped tiles and hand-shaped tiles. A door on the opposite wall is the only way through. Now, I notice we're running out of time. Do you want to carry on, or do you want to call a time when to finish? And we may have to leave it to another week to
yeah, let's do that. Let's call it. We're in this room with the star-shaped and thing, and we'll come back to it. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so to round off then, what else did we want to talk about? Right, yeah. So how did you find the adventure, and then what would you rate it?
Yeah, I really liked it. I think you have to map it, don't you, as you go along? Because I was almost a bit lost when we started taking left and left, and then you come back on yourself. It's just trying to remember the routes because there's a lot of corridors and stuff. But other than that, there's loads of fascinating things to go see, and you can just kind of bully your way through.
You can
and actually go to places you shouldn't be going.
You can.
Yeah.
If you had skill 7, which is the lowest you could have had, then you would have only been 2 skill away from most of those monsters. So would have been a bit tougher. But definitely with skill 11, this is a cakewalk. This is one of the rare books where you can actually get through with skill 7 and all the lowest stats.
Okay.
So I think it is worth playing with lower stats as well, like as your own challenge. And yeah, I really like the thing I like about this early section we've just gone through is Ian's section, and I like the way you have repeated doors on the left and doors on the right. It might seem boring in some ways, but in other ways it's world building. It feels like a real little place where people live, and there's similar things going on in each of the rooms.
Yeah, and in some cases there's nothing in the rooms.
Yeah,
and in some cases there are things of value in the rooms.
Yeah, and then like that guy.
Do you go in there? Do you not? And if you do go in there, do you just run straight out? Because you could kill an orc and find there's nothing in the room anyway, so you just waste it.
Yeah. So in that sense, I guess it's good to have wasted passages and wasted time in this one, because you have to weigh up your odds whether it's worth doing or not. That's true. Yeah. So the last thing to say about this has been an introduction really to fighting fantasy and game books. We've only talked about a couple of the authors and the illustrators. There are a load more in the recent. Even though there's only 15 books, as I said, in the Scholastic series, and there's only one other author in that set, and that was Charlie Higson. Who was in the Fast show.
Cool.
So we might get a chance to talk about him sometime. But the 15 books you can get now in that, the original series actually had 59 books. So there's quite a lot of other books out there to be read and discovered. But I just wanted to make a note of that because I didn't say early on that that's actually the case. And there's more books than that as well. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get to finish this book at some point and review some more of the series.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think we went through the book in our own narrative slightly, but still kind of went through it. Get to play the adventure as well, and you got to be dungeon master.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed adding extra stuff to it as well. Although, so we'll see how we get on next time. And it's weighing it up. Like we were talking before about how tabletop games you can do anything. So that's why it's nice to be able to just read through it and add things to it with a friend. Whereas if you were reading it on your own, you definitely wouldn't be adding things to it because you're kind of more constrained to those things.
Yeah, to the narrative that's there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had kind of an example of both today, I think. And that's it for now. What segments quickly?
Yes.
Reviews.
Yes.
And previews. So firstly, the mini reviews section.
Yeah. So shall we start with the big one this week?
The one that we both watched?
No, I was just going to say the big one. That's just like
which big one were you talking?
South Park is now on Amazon Prime.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's quite funny because up to season 21 or something, I think it's pretty much all of it.
Wow!
And Netflix have picked up season 1, and then weird. 18 to 20 something. So Amazon Prime was trolling Netflix on their South Park.
Having the whole look.
So that's good.
Because the earlier episodes are better. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think seasons 1 up until where Chef's still around, they're all really good.
Yeah,
even when he leaves, there's some still good episodes later on. There's the Hobbit episode, which is really good. Yeah, it's still a great show. But it's weird how they picked up, or they were only given a certain number, and there's a whole chunk of it not there.
Yeah, it sounds like they wanted to show the most recent ones and just sort of keep up
Yeah,
to
it could
date.
be. Yeah, maybe it was cheaper to get that section than it is to get the whole back catalogue.
Mm. Yeah.
Other streaming news: Netflix have bought Jerry Seinfeld's TV show Seinfeld up until 2021.
Okay.
So
excited
that's
for
big.
that?
Oh yeah, I love Seinfeld. Haven't
Okay.
seen it in so many years because it's not been in the UK streaming service wise. So definitely going to watch that.
Yeah, I remember it being okay, but I haven't seen it in a long time, as you say.
Yeah, so I'll have to start watching that and just seeing if I still enjoy it as much as I used to, because I know they've just lost Friends, they've lost The Office, NBC are creating their own streaming service now.
Okay, so they're keeping all the good things
Yeah,
for themselves.
they're just pulling back all their stuff. So Netflix are losing a lot of stuff, so they're out acquiring things as well.
That's a shame.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens in a few years, how these streaming services kind of segregate, or do they come together and they start offering things between themselves again?
I imagine so. I imagine they would all segregate slowly, but then they'll end up doing deals where you can maybe sign up to several at once.
Yeah.
Something like that, because otherwise you don't want to sign up to every single channel yourself.
No, it's too expensive.
Mm.
Also, a big thing. If anyone's got a PC and wants to get hold of the Batman video games, so this is Arkham City, Arkham Knight.
Okay.
I think Arkham Origins as well, and the Lego Batman, free of charge currently. You go to Epic Store, just register an account, and you can have the entire, I think it's 6 Batman games free of charge.
Catalog. Nice.
Yeah. Free of
Excellent.
charge. Get your hands
Good
on
news.
it. That's the big one. Yeah, that's the big review.
That's the big one. Okay, the big reveal. Okay, anything else? Anything you've watched or played this week?
I watched something called It Chapter 2.
It's Chapter 2. Okay, what's that about?
It's a small indie film that no one's really talking about. It's getting a lot of buzz for Bill Hader's performance.
All right.
He plays a grown adult. He used to live in a little town called Derry. He revisits it after 23 years. And it's kind of a coming of age. He's come of age. He's grown up, and we kind of see what's happened to him. But it also bumps into a few of his other friends as well while he's there. And then they get, there's a little adventure that happens off of that, spins off of that. And yeah, sounds
interesting.
It's 3 hours. It's quite a long
film. It sounds boring.
It is.
Okay, so I saw it as well. So talking about it, what did you think of it then?
Okay, so it's long. I just recently on Amazon Prime, again another shout out to streaming service. It Chapter 1 is currently on there. So I was just watching It Chapter 1 after I watched Chapter 2.
Yeah, because I wanted to watch Chapter 1 before I went to watch 2 really, but I didn't have a time to do that.
And I think Pennywise is more prominent in the first one, as himself, that is. Obviously, he appears in different kind of things. There's more jump scares. He's not scary because whenever they do, like when he kills Georgie, it's that CGI mouth with all those fake teeth. All that stuff isn't scary. He runs and then he leaves them alone. He's chasing. He
doesn't really have any power to kill them, does he?
No, he's feeding off their fear.
He children rather than the adults, and the adults seem to be safe anyway.
Yeah, he's feeding off fear in the first one, and then there's the Loser Club. But he kills other kids, but he never kills. So I was watching it a second time and just thinking, he's so close to. Why don't you just kill that kid? Like he kills other kids. Like he has no problem with killing them. So why is it
because they face their fears and they?
But that's at the end. He doesn't know that, does he?
Maybe they're doing it a little bit inside. Maybe they're prepared to face their fears. I don't know.
But then he should kill them because if they're going to face their fears, they're going to kill him. And anyway, so yeah, it's okay. It's not great. But then the ending, the first one ends in kind of in an okay way because they start swinging that bat around, don't they? And they kill him. That's kind of the end of the first one. Spoiler alert. So the second one, they've gone away. The acting of the adults, like James McAvoy is such a good actor, but with that stutter, it doesn't suit him, I think, because he's such a good actor. If he just performs normally, he'd be incredible.
That's a bit odd, wasn't it? Yeah.
Jessica Chastain's good. Bill Hader's amazing in this film. And, the guy who plays Pennywise, he's around, but he's not around as much as he was in the first. I think there's always a CGI alternative to him throughout the film. They foreshadow a lot of the end. Spoiler alert for the ending, like when they're sat around eating food in that restaurant, they got all those insects in the spidery type thing. Then there's that kid whose head comes out on the spider near the old house, and then obviously Pennywise becomes the spider. But because the CGI is advanced, technology looks good, but it's fake. It's not practical effects. I would have liked to see some more practical effects instead of kind of just like a CGI monster chasing them.
It's whether it's practical or not. The fact is, when you're doing CGI stuff, it's always on a big scale. So you never have those close-in shots where they're really going to be in danger. Like you could CGI that stuff, but they don't bother. That's why. That's when you would have animatronics and some real threat.
Exactly, they did that really well in Annabelle Creation. They had a lot of animatronics, and they had a lot of, like, even when James Cameron did Terminator 2, there's real people that were used for certain scenes. It wasn't all CGI. There's a lot of things where you think it's CGI, but actually it's a real person, and I think that looks better. Overall, there's a lot less jump scares. It's not as atmospheric and scary as I thought it may be.
Yeah.
It neatly wraps around a little bow around the whole kind of franchise. Yeah. The ending is terrible. Oh, look, he's a bully. Let's shout things at him. And he turns into this little thing, pull his heart out.
Worked, but
I didn't really like that.
Because that was kind of the thing, wasn't it? Like, throughout the movie, one of the things was that he was always trying to belittle them and remind them of their fears. So, in that sense, he made their fears big, and that's why he was big. And then, when they turn it back on him, they're making their own fears small, which is why he shrinks. It's not really him; it's their own perception and their own fears, which I think is quite realistic for how people deal with fear. Like, it's literally, you can let your fear conquer you and be everything in the world, or you can say, actually, that's a small thing. It's nothing to me.
Yeah, I know the symbolism. But for this sort of film,
for the horror. I mean, I was liking the symbolism, and also like the idea from the beginning that they might be facing their fears or facing their problems that they've still got in life.
Because they faced them once before.
Yeah, but they're coming back. It's like they've still got them buried for some reason, and they need to defeat it once and for all. So the idea of this stuff coming back later in life as an adult, and how they're going to defeat it this time was good. But then, the film itself was just sort of. It was a bit weaker. It didn't really tie together properly with that idea. Then it could be better.
Yeah, and also because he's tormenting. Well, he comes back and he kills other kids, and he's killing, and he starts again, and then they all come back to Derry, but they all go back to the old house to get an item.
Yeah.
That bit, some of those bits were quite good. Like when they went back to the old. Especially the Jessica Chastain thing was really good. It was in the trailer. It's maybe the best bit. It's just that, interaction with it. But the rest of them, they were kind of like chased by CGI monsters and stuff, and it wasn't.
But the good thing about that was that it gave you flashbacks of what they were as a child, which gave you better connection, I think, to the adults.
Yeah, I guess because it's been 2 years since the last film, so you do need to put some legwork in. Remember this kid? He looked like this. He used to stutter.
You remember their issues again and what they're trying to face. So then that ties a bit better. It ties everything off a bit better. Yeah. The only thing I thought is a problem, which was a problem with the old one that they did for TV as well, is just the reunion is boring. Like, just people getting together and talking. I feel really bored just adults talking. But they did a good job of trying to make it funny. All the characters have sort of funny points, and they try to keep humour throughout it. But there was at least one point where I thought, oh no, they're still talking. Just get on with the scary stuff and facing your fears and facing Pennywise.
Yeah, or kill one of them, because they're annoying me at that stage.
Kill one. Yeah.
And basically, he's a shape-shifting alien who's taken the form of a clown, But there's a lot of shots that look really expensive but aren't.
Okay.
I like, the bit when they get to the bridge and and Pennywise is on the other side of the bridge and he kills the guy at the start.
Yeah.
And then there's loads of balloons everywhere and you're like,
yeah,
that's not scary, is it? I don't know why.
No.
Like you make this really expensive shot, but even a single balloon floating off into the sky. Yeah.
They sort of give you an idea of something big and scary, but then they don't really show it again. Like, they show the bodies coming out of the drain. And that's quite good as well. But then, apart from those little bits, you don't really see as much horror. So maybe they should have trimmed down the talking of the adults and maybe have some more horror of children dying and stuff.
Yeah, Pennywise actually succeeding. So then we can see there's a real threat to him.
Yeah, maybe even have him kill an adult.
Yeah, because the man...
the man is an adult, isn't he? The man that falls in the water. So he does kill an adult.
Yeah. But he doesn't kill enough.
No, not enough.
I feel like if there's a threat, he should be taking out more people. Then we realise, you know what, any of these guys can go.
Yeah, and that fair at the beginning, he should have burnt the whole lot down. Kill all the people in the town.
Exactly, that's it. That's his best way of gaining. But because I think he needs the souls, that he needs to kill them individually or something, I guess. Because he puts the fear into them, and then he feeds off that fear, and that's what keeps him strong and keeps him kicking about. And then the ending where they thought they'll use the artifacts the way that the black guy saw a vision of, that never happened, and then it just it turns into a tiny little thing and take the heart out. That was the end.
Yeah. I thought it was okay.
No.
I think I give it 2 stars, but I thought it was okay. I think it's 2 stars. Just watch the first one, and you don't really need to watch this one.
Yeah, I mean, watch it on your streaming service because you already pay for it.
Yeah.
So don't contribute any more money to it. It's fine.
Yeah, the first one is good though.
Yeah, it's all right. It's good.
That's definitely a 3-star maybe.
Yeah, watch on your streaming service because it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah, just do that then. Yeah, fine. Let's watch the old ones. Oh, the other problem with it, of course, is that it's not really another version of the book. It's kind of a remake of the first version of the TV version, because they have it all split up. Whereas I understand that the actual book just had the adults throughout and flashbacks throughout.
Okay.
But both times they've done these films, they split it into the kids first and then the adults. So
I think cinematically that works better, because then the kids get their own film, and then the adults get their own film, and you're coming back for the second part of kind of like to close the loop.
Yeah, and that's why it's good they showed some of the kids, because the adults on their own are boring, but the kids one was good, but the better film. But then showing the kids again as some flashbacks was quite good, I think.
It's fine.
Anything else?
I watched the film starring Constantine Wu and Jennifer Lopez and Julia Stiles and the girl from Riverdale and the girl from Scream Queens and Carly B the rapper. This film's called Hustlers, based on a true event or true life story. So it's all kind of follows Constantine Wu. It's basically from her eyes and her perspective. And I think that's why she's top biller on this. And also she's in a huge hit TV show, Fresh Off the Boat. She's had that big Asian wedding film, Crazy Rich Asians last year. So, she's riding high and all that. Yeah. The actual acting is good. I mean, everyone's talking about Oscar buzz for it. It's good. I think it's fine. It's good acting. Yeah. I mean, there'll be other films and stuff that come out which will have incredible acting. But it's good. I mean, maybe it is Jennifer Lopez's best performance she's ever given. They're basically they're strippers, and then it's about when they're making money and how they increase their income.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
And then the bank crisis happens, and so the bankers stop coming, and they're not making as much money, so they come up with a new hustle to try and get the money from the rich bankers and the rich lawyers and that sort of, and that's what the film is, Hustlers. They're trying to make us another income stream.
The untold story of the recession.
Yes,
It's not
a different take on the recession, right? So all these rich bankers were making millions, and they still are, and it seems like there's no repercussions for them. Loads of small independent businesses lost real money, houses, everything.
Yeah.
But the wealthy stayed wealthier.
Yeah.
And this is a story about kind of like these ladies who then take money from them. So they were just basically they came up with a way of maxing out their credit cards, getting a split from it from the strip joint, stuff like that. And they initially have they come up with this they come up with the idea. Jennifer Lopez, Constantine Wu's on, the girl from Riverdale's on board, and the girl from Scream Queens, they're all on board, and they start doing that stuff. And it's just following that, and then you see the cracks in the relationship.
Yeah.
And you see kind of how they then start to do another hustle because that hustle doesn't work, and people start to get and stuff like that. But it's actually a good film. It's an interesting, different take, and it's good that there's a female-led film that's coming out now, because there's been so many kind of like male-led,
It's about time. This world is too chauvinistic. It's about time we had stories about strippers.
Exactly, but also the main leads aren't white. So Julia Stiles is in the film, but she's a reporter and she's got a minor role. The girl from Riverdale, again, she's white, but she doesn't have a major role. So it's quite a diverse cast as well. Yeah. It's interesting that they use none of there's musical artists in the film, like Jennifer Lopez, Carly B, but they didn't use any of their songs throughout the film. So when you walk into Strip Joint, there'll be a song on the background, but it's none of their songs. It's other stripping songs. It's cool. And spoiler alert, there's a moment where Usher Raymond walks into the club and they play Usher's track, which was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
And then Jennifer Lopez comes up to Usher and says, she asks him who he is, and he's like, I'm Usher. I'm like, yeah, that's sick. It's worth a watch. There are some funny bits in. Don't expect it being a comedy. It's funnier than Happy Time Murders.
It looks funny. How can it be funnier than Happy Time? Jake?
Everything's funnier than Happy Time. even accidental films.
Black comedy.
It's definitely worth a watch. If you can watch it in cinema, definitely do. So based on the kind of the rating, I'd give it
4-star.
VOD.
Okay, 3-star. Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Any good stripping scenes or pole dancing or anything, or is it?
Yeah, so Jennifer Lopez did a lot of training on kind of like the pole dancing stuff. She had a lot of bruises, injuries and stuff. And when she does her first set, she actually looks like someone who's been doing this for a while, who's really kind of like, who hasn't just picked it up for a film. She actually looks and breathes like she does this on a day-to-day basis, which was good. And I'm sure the other actresses all have done whatever they needed to train up for it. But her role, especially when she makes the big money at the very start of her set, that was really good. I was just like, wow, that actually feels like they've not picked an actress. They've actually picked a stripper to do this. Yeah. And Carly B is a stripper turned rapper, so she knows the world anyway.
Oh, that's wicked. That's quite cool. Anything else?
No, that's it. What I'm going to start doing now that South Park is on Amazon Prime, I'm going to start watching 1 or 2 episodes every week, and then I'm going to give you a quick review of season 1, episode whatever, and then the next week give you a running commentary on how does South Park still hold up after all these years, if you look back at season 1 onwards, or so I'll start doing that.
That's a series to look forward to. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that everything for you?
Yeah, that's all the stuff.
You haven't played Borderlands 3 yet still?
No, I got a game that involves kicking a pig's bladder around.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to take over my life for the best part of 6 months at least. It's a game called FIFA 20.
Is it good?
In the game, you pick a team, and you can pick almost any team you want to play as, and you play through, or you could play as a player. You can play through his ultimate team. What? Sorry?
I choose the Elves team.
You can do. You can even create your own player, create your own team.
Oh wow! With elf ears? Oh, wicked.
Oh yeah. So the actual player characteristics then stuff has got so much better over the years. It's not the best football game. Pro Evolution Soccer is much better, but I'm one of those people, because I play this on my own. I prefer to have the game completely done with all the licensing, all the football kits, all the players, everything done, while the gameplay isn't as good. While there's another football game which the gameplay is much better, but it doesn't have the official licensing, doesn't have the official leagues and stuff.
Well,
so kind of
all it needs to have is lots of customization, and then you can just make up all the characters yourself.
People make mods and make patches for the PC, which is easy to do. They make mods and stuff for the PlayStation, but it's a bit fiddly to get it down. You have to download it, put it on the hard drive, run the patch thing, and then it's a bit more fiddly. You have to take the hard drive out and do stuff. Yeah, it's not worth it, or it is worth it. I don't know. I just never got around to doing it. So I'm now all about FIFA for the next umpteen months. By that time, Borderlands will be cheap, so I'll get in there.
And we'll play it. I'm keen. I'm really keen to play Borderlands 3 when it's cheap. When it costs under a tenner, then I'll play.
Yes, with all the DLCs.
I'm a die-hard cheap fan. Okay, so I brought River City Girls, which I talked about last week and maybe the week before. And it's an okay game. I wouldn't say it's a great game. It's a budget game, so £25 brand new is a budget price. But I would say probably leave it till it's £10-15, just because it's an enjoyable game, but it's not got too much to it.
Okay.
It was quite hard at first, but then I realised you could actually use items to heal yourself during the boss battles, and it suddenly got easier.
And you can cheat.
Yeah, like if it didn't have that, I would say it's a high challenge, and that makes it a good game. But I think the fact that you can heal yourself in the middle of a boss battle kind of makes it a bit weak. So yeah, that's River City Girls for you. I gave it a scathing, wonderful review there. Assassins of Valencia I was playing last week. I got back to it this week, and I died instantly on a paragraph. Assassins of Valencia, a game book. So yeah, I haven't gone back to it yet, but I got an instant death. Okay, so anything else, or should we move on to previews?
Yeah, move on to previews.
Okay, what have we got in preview land?
Well, I'm going to download the Batman games, which are free, as we said earlier, and I'm going to start watching South Park, so we can do some reviews, see if it holds up.
Oh, wicked. Okay. I'm quite interested in Ad Astra, because it's a movie with Brad Pitt in it, just because Brad Pitt's pretty cool. I like Brad Pitt. But yeah, we'll see if I get around to doing that. And I'm still hearing about Shenmue 3 is on its way, and I still need to play Shenmue 2 and finish Shenmue 1. So those games are like 20 years old. So I need to get on that and finish them games.
One day.
Yes. So looking forward to that. I've got it on the way as soon as it's made and released. So go back to the Kickstarter to get it made. So we'll see if it's any good.
Cool. How can they contact us?
Yes, thank you for listening. You can contact us through the information at the bottom, or whatever my guy Brig is about to say. Twitter and all that business. Let us know if you want to see more Let's Plays of these books. We will try and finish off this book at some point, and maybe review another aspect of the game books at the same time, just to help finish off this book. And let us know any other subjects that you want to hear about.
Yeah, keep your topic suggestions coming in, and hit us up with your email. That's at the bottom, our Twitter account, our Instagram, and subscribe and give us a review.
5-star reviews and likes.
5-star reviews, yeah. Just so, and then we'll read them.
Yes, that'll be nice.
Brilliant, and thanks for listening. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.